Your feet may be warning you before your chest ever does. And after 70, missing that warning can steal the time you need to get help. If you want to stay healthy and independent as you age, hit that subscribe button right now. We share simple, science-backed health tips like this every single day, and the next one could be the one your body needs most. Over the years, heart doctors, senior care teams, and families have noticed the same quiet pattern. Many older adults do not get a dramatic warning first. They get small changes, their shoes feel different, their socks leave marks, their feet feel heavy, cold, or tight, and they brush it off as age. That is exactly why this matters. Today I'm going to show you 5-foot changes you should never ignore after 70, what they may mean, and what to do next. Now, before we continue, tell me your age and where you're watching from in the comments. This helps us understand who we're helping. Here's what most people get wrong. They think heart failure means the heart suddenly stops. It does not. Heart failure means the heart has become too weak, too stiff, or too slow to keep up with the body's needs. Think of it like a pump that still works, but not strongly enough. When that happens, blood and fluid can back up, and your feet and ankles are often where that backup shows first. And here is the part many people miss. Not every swollen foot means heart failure. It could be vein problems, kidney trouble, arthritis, medicine side effects, too much salt, hot weather, or simply sitting too long. But that does not mean you should ignore it. A 2022 study using University of Michigan aging data found that 19% to 20% of older adults had ongoing lower leg swelling. That tells you this sign is common. But common does not mean harmless. And heart failure becomes much more common with age. A 2024 heart failure report found that about 6.96% of adults ages 70 to 79 live with heart failure, and that number rises to 10.14% in adults 80 and older. So if your feet are changing in a new way you do not want to guess, you want to notice patterns early. Look, I am not telling you to panic over every ache and puffiness. I am telling you to pay attention, because the body often whispers before it screams. And when it comes to heart failure, your feet may be doing the whispering. Number 5, sock marks that stay too long. Most people think, my socks are just tight. But actually, deep sock lines that hang around can be a sign of edema, which means swelling from trapped fluid. If both ankles show those marks day after day, especially by evening, that is worth noticing. Why? Because when the heart cannot move blood forward well enough, pressure builds in the veins. Then fluid leaks out into nearby tissue. Gravity pulls that fluid down, and your ankles pay the price. Think of it like a garden hose with weak pressure at the front and backup at the rear. Water starts pooling where it hangs lowest. That is what your lower legs can become, a low spot. A 2022 study built from University of Michigan aging data found that adults ages 80 to 89 had 2.9 times the odds of peripheral edema, and adults over 90 had 5 times the odds, compared with adults ages 51 to 69. In simple words, swelling becomes much more common as people age, which is exactly why it gets ignored. So what should you do? Every evening, take off your socks and wait 10 minutes. Then look at both ankles in good light. Are there deep rings? Do they fade quickly, or do they stay? Next, press your thumb gently above the ankle bone for 5 seconds. If the skin leaves a dent that lingers, write that down. Measure the ankle with a soft tape if you have one. Check the same time each night for 3 days. Patterns matter more than one random day. Now let's talk food, because salt can pour fuel on this fire. 1 cup of canned soup can carry 700 to 900 milligrams of sodium. That is a huge hit. Try swapping it for homemade soup with no added salt, closer to 100 to 150 milligrams per cup. A 3-ounce piece of plain baked chicken may have only about 60 to 75 milligrams of sodium if you do not season it heavily. Half a cup of plain brown rice adds only a few more milligrams. Small swaps can make a big difference, but wait until you see number 4, because this next sign catches many people even sooner. Number 4, shoes that fit in the morning but feel tight by evening. Most people think this is just normal aging or too much walking, but actually when your shoes feel fine at breakfast and snug by dinner, your body may be collecting fluid through the day. That is not just discomfort. That is a clue. Here's the thing. Fluid follows gravity, like rainwater rolling downhill. If your circulation is slowing and your body is holding on to extra salt and water, it often settles in the feet first. That is why sandals start rubbing. That is why you loosen laces. That is why your favorite shoes suddenly feel like they shrank. A 2024 Duke Clinical Research Institute study found that a scale measuring fluid retention detected 70% of heart failure events, while the old rule of watching for weight gain alone caught only 35%. That matters, because it tells us fluid changes can show up before people fully realize what is happening. So, how do you track this at home? Pick one pair of shoes you wear often. Put them on in the morning and again in the evening. Notice the straps, the tongue, the laces, and the pressure across the top of the foot. Then weigh yourself every morning after using the bathroom and before breakfast. Same scale, same spot, same clothing if possible. Write down both your morning weight and your evening shoe tightness on a scale from 0 to 3. 0 means normal, 3 means very tight. Do this for 1 week. If both numbers trend upward, do not ignore that. Breakfast is a great place to lower sodium without feeling deprived. 1 cup of plain oatmeal has only about 2 milligrams of sodium. Half a cup of blueberries adds almost none. But a flavored instant packet may jump to 250 or 300 milligrams. And if your doctor has said potassium is safe for you, 1 medium banana gives around 422 milligrams. That does not cure heart failure, but it can help you build a lower salt pattern that supports your whole system. Quick question. Have you experienced evening foot swelling or shoes that suddenly feel tighter? Comment yes or no below. And now we move to a sign that many seniors describe in a very different way. Number 3, feet that feel heavy, tight, or stretched. Most people think heavy feet mean they are just tired. But actually, heavy and tight feet can be a signal that tissue is filling with fluid. Sometimes the skin even looks shiny. Sometimes the top of the foot seems puffy. Sometimes the ankle bones look less sharp, like someone softly erased their edges. Why does that happen? Picture a dry sponge and a wet sponge. One is light, one is loaded. Your tissues can feel the same way. When fluid builds up, your feet can feel full, thick, and strangely hard to move. Not sharp pain, not always numbness, just heavy. A 2024 study from Chongqing Medical University found that heart failure patients with higher fluid burden had a 43.8% all-cause mortality rate, compared with 30.3% in those with lower fluid burden. In other words, extra fluid is not just a comfort issue, it can be a sign of bigger strain on the heart and body. So do this simple evening check. Sit on the edge of the bed and look at the top of both feet. Do the tendons still show, or do they look buried? Does the skin look glossy? Press lightly over the shin and over the top of the foot. Then raise your feet above heart level for 20 minutes. If the tightness eases, that tells you fluid may be part of the story. Again, write it down. Your memory lies. Your notebook does not. Lunch can help or hurt here. Half a cup of no salt added beans may have only 2 to 15 milligrams of sodium, depending on the brand, and often gives you 300 to 400 milligrams of potassium. 1 cup of cucumber slices has only a couple of milligrams of sodium. Compare that with a deli meat sandwich, which can easily hit 800 to 1,200 milligrams of sodium before you even add chips. That is how swelling sneaks up on you. Not in one giant mistake, in small daily habits. Before we go further, if this is making sense so far, hit that like button. It tells me you want more videos like this. Now let's get to the sign that people often blame on the weather. Number 2, feet that stay cold, pale, or slightly blue. Most people think, my house is chilly, or my feet are always cold. But actually, feet that stay colder than usual, look pale, or turn dusky can be a warning that blood is not reaching the edges of the body the way it should. And when the heart is under strain, the body sometimes protects the center first. It sends more blood to the brain and major organs and less to the farthest streets. Your feet are those far streets. Think of a city during a power shortage. The main hospital keeps its lights. The outer streets go dim. That is what poor circulation can look like. Now, cold feet alone do not prove heart failure. Let me be very clear about that. They can also happen with artery disease, diabetes, thyroid problems, anemia, or just a cold room. But persistent cold feet, especially when paired with swelling, shortness of breath, or fatigue, should not be brushed off. A 2022 study from the University of Maryland found that extreme cold increased the risk of heart failure deaths by 37%. That does not mean cold feet equal danger on the spot. It means that when the heart is already struggling, cold and poor circulation matter more than people think. Here is your home check. Use the back of your hand and compare one foot to the other. Is one much colder? Are both colder than usual? Look at the nail beds. Do they pink up fast after you press them, or do they stay pale? Check the color of your toes after sitting and after walking for a minute. If you notice new coldness, color change, or pain, bring it up with your doctor. For dinner, build meals around fresh foods instead of salty packaged ones. A medium baked potato has roughly 900 milligrams of potassium, if your doctor says potassium is safe for you. 3 ounces of unsalted salmon can give you healthy fats with much less sodium than processed meats. But a frozen salty dinner can shoot past 700 or even 1,000 milligrams of sodium in one tray. Your feet may feel that by bedtime. I'd love to hear your story. What made you click on this video today? Share in the comments. And now we come to the biggest one, the one you really do not want to miss. Number 1, puffy feet that come with breathing changes or more trips to the bathroom at night. Most people think swollen feet and nighttime bathroom trips are two separate problems, but actually they can be connected. During the day, fluid may settle in your legs and feet. At night, when you lie down, some of that fluid shifts back into circulation. Then your kidneys filter more of it, and suddenly you are getting up again and again to urinate. At the same time, if the heart is struggling, you may also notice shortness of breath, a cough when lying flat, or the need for extra pillows. That word is orthopnea, which simply means breathing feels harder when you lie flat, and that combination matters far more than any foot symptom alone. A 2018 review supported by Seoul Women's College of Nursing reported that 34.1% of people with heart failure had moderate to severe overactive bladder symptoms, and 43.5% had moderate to severe lower urinary tract symptoms. In plain language, bathroom changes are common in people whose hearts are also struggling with fluid balance. So, what should you watch? Ask yourself 3 questions. Are both feet more swollen than they were a week ago? Are you waking up more often to use the bathroom without a new reason, like a urinary infection? And are you more short of breath when you walk, lie flat, or climb stairs? If the answer is yes to more than one, do not sit on it. Call your doctor. This is also where daily tracking becomes powerful. Weigh yourself each morning. Notice whether you need more pillows. Count nighttime bathroom trips. Look at your feet. Your body is giving you clues. Put them together. A simple supper can support that routine. 1 cup of plain cooked rice has only a few milligrams of sodium. Fresh green beans, about half a cup, add very little sodium if you do not salt them heavily. Compare that with takeout noodles or pizza, which can dump 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of sodium into your system in a single meal. That is enough to make many people feel puffy by the next day. But let's pump the brakes for a second. I'm not saying this to scare you, but you should never try to treat possible heart failure on your own with random supplements, huge amounts of water, or someone else's water pills. That can backfire fast. Some people need fluid limits, some do not. Some need potassium watched closely. Some must avoid it. If you have kidney disease, take blood pressure medicine, use diuretics, or have been told your potassium runs high, do not start loading up on bananas, potatoes, or salt substitutes without asking your doctor first. And watch out for hidden troublemakers. Pain pills like ibuprofen and naproxen can make the body hold on to salt and fluid. Some cold medicines and fizzy antacids carry a lot of sodium. Compression socks can help some people, but not all. If one leg is swollen much more than the other, if you have sudden pain, redness, chest pain, fainting, confusion, blue lips, or severe shortness of breath, that is not a wait-and-see moment. That is urgent. Get medical help right away. So you're convinced, but thinking, how do I actually do this? Start simple. Do not try to change your whole life tonight. First, check your feet at the same time every evening. Second, weigh yourself every morning. Third, notice your shoes, your breathing, and how many times you get up at night. Fourth, cut one major sodium bomb from your day. Maybe it is canned soup, maybe it is deli meat, maybe it is frozen dinners. Replace it with fresh plain food when you can. If money is tight, keep it basic. Plain oats are cheap, rice is cheap, eggs are cheap, dried beans are cheap. Frozen vegetables without sauce are often cheaper than takeout and much lower in sodium. You do not need fancy powders, miracle teas, or expensive snacks. You need awareness and steady habits. And if you already have heart failure or think you might, tell your doctor exactly what changed. Do not just say, I feel off. Say, my shoes are tighter by evening. Say, my sock marks last longer. Say, I gained 3 pounds. Say, I need 2 extra pillows. Specific details help doctors much faster than vague worry. Look, there's a lot of noise out there, but this part is simple. If your feet are swelling, tightening, feeling heavy, turning colder, or changing along with your breathing, do not brush it off as just old age. You do not need to overthink this. You just need to notice what is new, what is repeating, and what is getting worse. Start with just one step tonight. Check your feet before bed. That's it. Your body will tell you if it's working because the patterns will become clearer. If this helped you, hit that like button. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed because we post new health tips every single day. Stay healthy, stay strong.